Hello my fellow bookworms, and welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video. Today I'm filming something that I haven't filmed before yet. I've been really excited to film this video ever since I started this series. You will probably be able to tell from the title that I am doing a Shatter Me series review, and I'm so excited. I've been reading these books. I'm not one of them people who's read them for like years and years. I basically bought the first few of these books in November, I think, and just continued to read them all. So I'm here to give a review. Perfect timing really, because obviously the final book came out last month, which was Imagine Me. So yeah, I'm here in perfect timing, all ready to give you a cheeky review of the whole series as a whole. I'm going to try and not spoil anything in this review, but I can't make any promises that that's going to happen. I didn't really know how to do this review. I didn't know whether to go through the books one by one or go through the series as a whole. I'm going to get my Goodreads ratings up for all of the books, but as a whole I'd probably rate the series as a whole. Here's all six books. Just turn it around so you can see them all, and they are in order for them OCD people out there like me. I would probably rate the whole thumbnail. I would probably rate all of these books as a series a 4 out of 5 stars. I feel like a lot of people are going to disagree with me on that and give it a 5 stars. Because the series did have a lot to it, but yeah, I do have some things that I don't really disagree with about the series, and we will go into that. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but I'm going to try and keep it short and snappy, so we will see. Okay, so I am going to try and go through them individually also, but we'll see how that goes, because obviously there is 6 books. It's quite a few. This was the first one that I read, obviously the first book of the series, Shatter Me. I really enjoyed this book. As an introduction, obviously if you have read this book you'll know that Tahira Mafi, who's the author, crosses out a lot of Juliet's, a lot of things that Juliet says, and a lot of her writing is not in a bad way but all over the place, and that she has mentioned before, and you do kind of figure it out as you go along. It kind of represents the way that Juliet thinks and feels, and I thought that was a really creative way to write a novel, and it's a really intriguing way to like pull in a reader for the first book of a series. So I did find that really interesting, and I did really enjoy reading this novel with all the different little creative twists that go on in it. Like I said, I read this novel in November, so we're going off kind of like a rough memory right now. Don't have the greatest memory. Let me just see. When you read the series, sometimes they'll morph into one, and you kind of forget where one book starts and one book ends. So I'm just going to find out what happens at the end of this. Yeah, so I think we are in an Omega point by the end of this novel, if I remember correctly. We've met Winston and stuff, so I think we got to Omega point by the end of this novel. Yeah, the first book was a good start. I really enjoyed it. I think I gave it a 4, but I'm going to check. I gave it 4 stars. I gave the book 4 stars, which I remember giving. Yeah, I love this book so much. The reason that I gave it 4 stars was more so because it was really weird. I felt like the beginning of this book was quite slow, and then it picked up quite rapidly. From the moment she met Adam, everything just happened too quickly. Juliet and Adam just fell in love like that, and obviously I completely understand why that happens, because Juliet's never had like any connections with people. Well, we found out at the end that that is not true, but at the moment she feels as though she never has any connections with people. She feels as though she's never really been in love. She's never had someone who's been kind to her and loved her, and so I understand that these pair, Juliet and Adam, fall in love really quickly due to that. However, I do feel as though if you'd never had a emotional connection with someone before, or you never thought that you'd had emotional connection with someone before, as much as it would be easier to fall in love, you would also be a little bit closed off, and you wouldn't understand your emotions and wouldn't jump to conclusions that you're in love. I feel like Juliet should have been a lot more closed off, and the rapid speed that Juliet and Adam's relationship built for me was just too much, and I didn't enjoy watching their relationship grow. Like it was too fast for me. So basically I think they were written as a trio, I can never say this word, trilogy, and then another trilogy was written and then it was made into a series, if I'm correct. And I do prefer the second half of the series. Oh no, oh no, we don't want that in the video. Let's just wait for that to stop. Yeah, I do prefer the second half of the series a lot more. Something that frustrates me so much in this novel, and obviously I understand it, it's her personality, but Juliet was so mopey and soppy, and I can't deal with people like that. And the character development in these books is brilliant, but her character development, she just made me want to tear my hair out. I just wanted to give her a smack and tell her to wake up and stop crying and moping. And like I've said a million times before, I understand why she was like, I understand why she was crafted to be this way, but it was really frustrating to me to just watch her mope and cry and whinge, and yeah, it really frustrated me basically. And I think that was the main reason I give this novel 4 stars and not 5. But I did enjoy the novel, and I do think it was a really good opening to a series. So that's all I'm going to say on the first one, because I've spoke so much about the first one already. Okay, second one, Unravel Me. Oh, can we have some focus? This is Unravel Me. I do love the covers to these novels, they are gorgeous. Is this the biggest book in the series? It is. It is, it is, it is. So this is the thickest book in the series. It's 460 pages. Are we going to focus? Are we not? Well, you can see how thick it is anyway. So this one's 460 pages. Now, for me, this was my least favourite book in the whole series, and it was so frustrating for me because it's the thickest book, it's the biggest book, and it was the one I just didn't enjoy it really at all. I do feel like I kind of like pummels on through this novel but didn't really enjoy it, but was kind of just like, I want to read the rest of them, so I'm just gonna have to get through this one and hope that they pick back up again. So I wasn't fond of this novel. Although we do see some changes in Juliet. She starts to, if I remember correctly in this novel, she starts to realise more things about her powers. She starts to get stronger. And if I remember correct, at the end of this novel, they do have a fight. Does Warner and Anderson have a fight with Omega Point? Am I right? Yeah, I'm right. So yeah, this is the novel where I think Juliet gets taken away by Warner and everyone at Omega Point basically dies. So it was just not fun for me. I think I gave this 3 stars. Let's check. Yeah, I gave Unravel Me 3 stars. I did not enjoy it. I'm gonna try not to talk about it too much because it's just not my favourite. But everyone in Omega Point dies, which is like, I just didn't expect that. And by the end of the novel, I'm kind of glad that it happened by the end of the series, because obviously it created so much for the series as a whole. But like, when I actually read this book, I was like, really? Second novel in, we're gonna kill them all off? Okay. And yeah, I didn't enjoy the scenery in this novel. I just felt like we were in Omega Point the whole time. I feel like there wasn't enough like vivid description of Omega Point, and yeah, I just felt like I was talking to the same characters in the same setting constantly. Juliet was still kind of being mopey, even though she does discover a lot about her powers. She was still being really mopey. Oh, and this was just not my favourite. This is definitely my least favourite. Yeah, everything about this novel, no, I did not enjoy this one. I feel like the battle, the battle with like the Supreme Commanders and stuff, and Sector 45 was just brushed over a little bit. I don't remember exactly, like, perfectly what happens in this novel. No, I do remember what happens, but I don't remember perfectly what's in this one and what's in the next one, if that makes sense. But guys, can you be quiet? I'm filming.
No, we can't. No, shut your window. What, I'm going to speak loud?
You was? Right, what was I up to? Oh yeah, I do feel like the battle was just kind of brushed over. If I remember correctly, there was such a big build up to the battle, and then it happened so unexpectedly, and then like all these people had all these powers and prepared for were prepared for battle, and there were so many of them apparently. I just don't get how they failed so badly, like how just don't understand. And that's all I'm going to say about Unravel Me, because I did not enjoy it, and I do feel kind of guilty saying that because I understand how much effort Tahira put into these novels, and I have enjoyed the series as a whole, but that novel was just a letdown for me. And just yeah, no, would not reread that one. If I reread the series, then I would have to. I think I would like to read it again and kind of pick out what I didn't like and be a bit more specific, but if I could actually make it through like nearly 500 pages of that again, I don't know if I could. On to the next. The next novel of the series is Ignite Me, which is my favourite cover actually. I think this one's gorgeous with all the flowers on it. I love it so much. Let me just have a quick think. Where were we up to in Ignite Me? What happens at the start and what happens at the end? That's all I need to know. I know what happens in between. Okay, Ignite Me. Ignite Me I gave 4 stars, I think. 4 stars. So in this novel, I think, if I'm correct, in this one, Juliet is in Sector 45 with Warner, and she's being captured, and she is kind of really heartbroken. Oh, I've got a hair stuck to my face. And this is the novel where she kind of really starts to fall in love with Warner. I think everyone can see from kind of like the first novel that there was going to be a love interest with Warner. Tahira does a really good job at kind of folding that into the novel and kind of putting it in the subtext, which I really enjoy. I kind of knew from the first one something was going to happen with Warner, but I didn't know what. I didn't know how intense it would have been, and that really excited me, and kind of was also another reason I kept reading these novels. I think this is probably the main point of their connection, I would say, in my opinion. This is where we really see that they are going to go somewhere, and they are going to build a relationship and have a relationship. This novel has my favourite ending of the series. So in this one, at the end, Juliet takes over Sector 45 as the new Supreme Commander, and she's only 17. And the ending was so strong and like intense for me. I really enjoyed it. Like, this was 100% my favourite ending. And yeah, I really enjoyed this novel. The reason I gave it 4 stars was because, again, with the scenery and the characters, it was the same scenery and it was the same characters once again. And yeah, that's just not what I enjoy. Is this the one where we think Warner dies? I mean, not Warner, Anderson. It is, isn't it? No, he dies in Ignite Me, doesn't he? He dies in Ignite Me, I think. So yeah, the reason I gave this 4 stars was because I loved every bit of it. You know, the ending, like I've said, was amazing. I loved the scenery of going into Anderson's boat and killing Anderson, taking the twins, going back and taking over Sector 45. The whole second half of this novel was insane. However, I do feel like the first half of the novel was quite slow paced. There wasn't much action, and Juliet was still a tiny bit mopey, just a little bit mopey. And she and yeah, at the start there was just not really any change of scenery for me, which is a huge thing for me. It kind of gets boring when you're stuck in the same room in a novel. But like I said, the second half was insane. Like, if it went for the first half of this novel, this would probably be my favourite. But But yeah, the second half of this novel was insane, and the first half was mediocre, but I enjoyed it still. It wasn't like Unravel Me, so yeah, I give this one a 4-star. I don't really have much to say about this one, except for the ending was magical and I loved it so much. Next book of the series, the 4th book in, is Restore Me. I'm a bit more up to date with the next 3 now because I read these quite recently. So, Restore Me is a novel where, let me think. Aha! This is the novel where she starts taking over Sector 45 and she's a Supreme Commander and she's really struggling with it. She's got a lot of built up anger with Warner at some points in it. Oh no. She's got a lot of built up anger with Warner at some points in it, and she starts to meet the other children of the Supreme Commanders. She starts to learn her roles, but she's really struggling with it. I really quite liked Restore Me. Let's see how many stars I give it on Goodreads. I think I gave Restore Me 4 stars too, but Goodreads isn't loading for me. Yeah, the ending of this novel was so frustrating but so amazing at the same time. The fact that us as the audience knew what was going on and knew that it was all false and she never killed anybody was so annoying to read, and like I just wanted to reach in and tell her like, it's okay, you never done anything wrong, but obviously can't do that, it's a book. So yeah, I really did enjoy Restore Me. The reason I gave it 4 stars was again the scenery just didn't change, and yeah, I like a little bit of a change in scenery. This is the first time where we got to see from Warner's perspective some things, but it was quite, some things from Warner's perspective, which was also quite interesting because this is the first novel where we go from like flip between perspectives, whereas in the first 3 we just have chapters. So that was also quite interesting. I did really enjoy this. I loved the ending so much. And yeah, that's all I really have to say about this one. Okay, second to last book in the series was my favourite in the whole series. It was insane. Defy Me was insane. This might be one of the best books I've ever read. Did I give it 5 or 4 stars? Definitely 5-star worthy. The main thing that we explore in this novel is Juliet's past life, Warner's past life, Juliet's parents. We learn about Emmeline, who is Juliet's sister, who she never knew about. But, it's just amazing. I love this novel so much. I love the start of it. We get introduced to, I always forget her mum's name because obviously she gets killed at the end of this one, so she's only in 1 novel. But I know that her dad's called Max. We found out that Juliet's parents were the Supreme Commanders of Oceania, and she was basically born and used as an experiment and a weapon for the other Supreme Commanders. And yeah, basically she was never really a child, she was just an object to everybody, and every single thing that has happened in her life has kind of been planned out, or like people have known it was going to happen before it's happened, because her whole life is basically just a lie. And I just thought it was so interesting. I also loved how dark this novel was. There were so many dark parts, and at the start, oh, what's her name? Her mum? Evie Summers is her mum. I don't even remember what I was saying. Oh yeah, there's a scene where Evie is injecting her with stuff and basically kind of cutting it up on her table. It's really grim, but it's so dark and interesting. Am I sick for saying that? It is kind of interesting to read. So I loved like those scenes. I loved learning about Emmeline. I loved the whole great escape of getting out of Oceania. I loved Emmeline's character. All these characters were so well thought through, and the whole series, the series as a whole, was so well thought through, and you kind of realise that in this novel. Yeah, I just love the characters, love the character developments, love the plot twists, love the kind of reinvented thing of the plot. I just love this book so much. I've heard quite a few people say like this is the letdown of the series, and I'm like, what? Are you okay? Like, this is the best one. It was insane. And that's all that needs to be said about it. I loved it so much and would reread it a million times over. And now finally, on the book that was only recently released and I've only recently finished reading, Imagine Me. I'm about to let you all down. I have seen people going insane about Imagine Me and saying how much they loved it, how much they thought it was an amazing finale. I don't agree. Yeah. The beginning of the book was just so dramatic and came out of nowhere, and I feel as though if you're going to end on a good point of the previous book, don't dive straight into negativity and like action, because I was just like, what the hell is going on? Like, last I checked, it was Warner's birthday and everyone was happy families, and then literally at the start of this book she has like a full-on breakdown and goes into a coma. So I just had such high hopes from the beginning, and then that just happened and I was like, really? Then she goes into a coma. While she's in her coma, Anderson and Sector 45 somehow managed to find, and all the other Supreme Commanders managed to find, this new place that they found at the end of Defy Me, where at the end of Defy Me they found this new place that Castle's daughter, I can't remember what it's called, but Castle's daughter Noria basically looks after this place, and like shelters all of the unnaturals, which they're called in the novel. So Nazir is there, Kenji's there, everyone's there. I haven't even spoke about Nazir and Kenji that much, I apologise, but I'm just trying to be quick and get through all these. So yeah, they're in there, it's all happy families, and then she has a full-on breakdown. While she's in a coma, Anderson manages to find this place that, you know, they said Nori's girlfriend Sam said they might have a brief idea of where they're hiding, but like one minute they just didn't know where they were, and then the next minute they found them while she was in a coma. And then Warner hid Juliet, and then, you know, like you would think if Warner hid her, you know, Warner's clever, Warner's good at everything. Warner in this series is like good at everything, knows what to do in these situations, but somehow when he hides her, Anderson still finds her. Oh yeah, by the way, Anderson's alive, which we find out in Defy Me. Which was, oh, that's why I gave 4 stars, because I was like, can you just die already? And then he dies again in that one, then comes back alive, and then he's back alive in this one. Just die, just die. And then they go away to Sector 45 and she basically gets turned into a robot. And then I just don't get how the whole time they don't go and rescue her until the very end, because it's not even really like a well thought through plan. They just kind of jump a plane and go and rescue her, and Warner happens to break this thing that's inside her by just talking to her and telling her that he loves her. And then it's all happy families again. They escape. Emmeline dies. Yeah, this was... I feel really guilty because I know that everyone loved this, and I was just like, really? Really? I don't get the epilogue. I don't get the beginning. I don't get the middle. I mean, I'm glad that all the Supreme Commanders were killed and Juliet happens to take over the world and is an amazing person and everyone is happy and wins at the end, but I just don't get the rest of the book. I just don't. No. Oh, I just had such high hopes for this. Everyone was saying it was amazing and it really wasn't. I'm not a fan of the finale, and yeah, just slightly let down. But on the bright side, Defy Me was insane, so at least I got what I was looking for in that. I did want to talk about favourite characters. My favourite characters are probably... I don't really like Juliet. I feel like she's mopey at the start, and then at times she's a bit of a bitch, and at times she's a bit too soft. I just don't really like her. She's not my favourite. I do think my favourite might be Warner, even though he winds me up when he's horrible at the end, when Juliet's been taken away and he's just not being nice to anyone. Like, it's frustrating because he's had such a big character development, but then sometimes when we see him act that way with other people when Juliet's not around, you feel like there's not been any character development towards the end because he's just acting the same as he did at the beginning. Like, literally the only reason he's not killing people is because then he wouldn't be able to have Juliet. So there is character development, but sometimes I'm like, can we have a bit more character development? Yeah, but he's kind of my favourite because he's cool and scary and apparently gorgeous. So Adam, I hated Adam the whole way through it. I thought at the start he was horrible for doing what he done, and then he was just so angry the whole way through. I just didn't want to know about Adam because he was just so annoyed with Juliet. He was like a little kid and crying and whinging and moaning and being angry, and I was like, go away, she's not interested in you anymore, leave her alone. So he made me so angry. I did not like Adam whatsoever. I loved shit, what's his brother called? I loved Nazira. I'm just gonna jump in here and say that. Loved Nazira. She was like, when she wore the headscarf and she's not allowed to, I was like, you tell them, you wear your headscarf, you don't let them control you. I was so proud of her in that scene. And she's like cold but warm-hearted. I just love Nazira. She might actually be my favourite. You can come in. I forgot one of the characters' names. James! James is also one of my favourites. He's so cute. It was kind of frustrating that we found out he had powers in one of the first novels, and I literally forgot about it because it's not mentioned. He has healing powers, doesn't he? And then in the final novel, when he gets kind of attacked, he manages to not die because he also has healing powers that help like contribute to his getting better. I forgot about that, and then when it popped up I was like, oh yeah, he's got healing powers. I forgot about that. So I loved James. I just wish that the healing powers were incorporated a bit more into the novel. Thought that would have been quite interesting. But he's so cute and like the pure representation of an actual child. Loved Nazira so much. Loved Warner. They're probably my main three. I loved Kenji. Yeah, Kenji was sweet actually. He's probably in the top two. So yeah, probably top characters are Kenji, Nazira, James and Warner. Top 4 characters. Hated Adam. He's the only... I didn't even hate Anderson because he had a strong character and he had purpose. Adam just didn't have purpose. I just didn't like him. I just wanted him to exit, leave the novel. He's a traitor. And at the end of the, and then at the end of the series, he's like a whole new character, and I was like, I'm not gonna like you just because you weren't happy at the end of the series. So anyway, I'm just gonna very quickly tier the books of the series from my least favourite to my most favourite, just before I finish this video. So I'm gonna do that very quickly. So obviously, as we know, my favourite one of the whole series was, oh okay, Defy Me. So I'm going to put this one on the top. Put it like that. My second favourite book of the series was probably Restore Me, which is just before Defy Me. So I'm going to throw this one here. Third favourite, Shatter Me, the original. Fourth favourite was probably Ignite Me, because the ending of this was insane. Fifth favourite, Imagine Me. Unfortunately, people are going to hate on me for that, and this was just, why was it even in the series? I don't know. Okay, so I'll show you my little ranking of the novels, see what you agree with, see how you feel about my ranking. This is the ranking. This is the, I'm going to change this novel to a 5-star, I think, when I go back on Goodreads. Oh my god. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a huge thumbs up because it really supports my channel. We only have like 5 subscribers, so really hoping to build that up in the next few days. And yeah, please do show some support. Leave any comments down below of how you feel about the series or any videos that you would like to see. Thank you so much for still being here with me during this weird time. I hope you're reading a lot while we're all stuck indoors. I know I am. And yeah, I love you all so much already. Thank you so much for supporting me if you are here. If you're new, please do subscribe because it really helps. I love you all so much, and I'll see you next Friday for another video. Bye.